Welcome back. This is Finding and Cultivating Buyers, which is part of the before process in working with buyers. So obviously your sphere of influence, which includes everyone you know, friends, relatives, friends of friends, business contacts, vendors, and other service providers, this is all part of what we like to call your SOI, your sphere of influence. Some people call it an COI, center of influence. I sometimes call it your database. It basically means when you pick up the phone or you call, text, or email, the person actually knows who you are, all right? So this is first and foremost the best place to start cultivating and looking for people that might be interested in purchasing or investing in properties in your area. And this goes without saying, it's also your past clients. If you're new to the business, you'll eventually have past clients, and you'll be following up and working with them as well so that you can get repeat and referral business. So open houses, that's next. We had a whole section on open houses. Go back to the module about how to effectively hold an open house, but it is one of the most effective and inexpensive methods for finding buyers and sometimes sellers by conducting open houses on an ongoing basis, not just every once in a while. I want to point out again, everyday opportunities. Remember, the ABC mindset is always be connecting. You have opportunities every single day to connect with people no matter where you are. Even if you happen to be home and you're working online and doing some of the activities that we talk about during that in that first module about your hour of power, your 1 to 2 hours of lead gen, you're making connections. But when you're out and about and you're carrying on just conducting life and business out there in the world, set a goal of like 3 to maybe 5 real estate conversations per day. One of the techniques that I've been teaching for years is to count out, like, let's say that my goal is I want to have 3 conversations with people every day that I get out and I go about my business. Set the goal. So it's 3. I'm going to count out 3 business cards. I'm going to purposely put those business cards somewhere where I can see them and know that let me find 3 opportunities that I can have conversations with people. I can either hand out that business card or, better yet, exchange that contact information by using technology like sharing your contact information and getting the other person's contact information and so forth. So look for opportunities in everything you do. I'm talking about standing in lines, checking out of the grocery or any other store, working from your favorite coffee shop, eating out, talking to your servers. It's just amazing. Just have conversations. Everyone's always interested in real estate. You'll hear people talking about real estate if you just tune in. Now, social media, there's ways to generate and cultivate relationships and leads from social media to find buyers. More on choosing your platform and working within social media in Module 9. Networking groups. Hey, what are your hobbies and interests? Do you belong to a group, or could you join an online or an in-person group that shares your common interests? Okay, so it doesn't have to be about real estate. If you are totally into, labs, dogs. I have family members who are just golden retrievers, and they have 2 golden retrievers, and they just love their goldies, and they have such an interactive group of people that they connect with that are also golden retriever owners. It's things like that, right? What do you have in common? What are you really passionate about? How can you take your hobbies and passions and integrate business into it without being overbearing and that annoying real estate agent? There's definitely ways to do it. You should also consider joining professional groups and organizations if it's your cup of tea, like Toastmasters. Toastmasters helped me a great deal when I was new in the real estate business and feeling comfortable speaking and presenting and so forth. A local chamber of commerce is another one. There are professional business networking like BNI and Le Tip that usually only allows 1 person from each type of industry, but you can check those out in your local area as well. Search for groups on Facebook, LinkedIn, Meetup, and then even check out things like Eventbrite or other resources in your area to find groups that are doing things that you're interested in also. All right, other ideas for finding buyers. Your target or your niche marketing. This is areas that you might want to specialize in. Do you want to work with renters and help renters work on their credit and saving for a down payment and partnership with a great lender so they can eventually be a homeowner? That's a group. There's techniques to go and find folks that are renting properties. And, a great way is starting with homes that you want to work in, the areas that you want to work in, and simply go find all the owner. Two things that you can focus on here is get a list of all the properties in an area that are absentee owner, meaning the seller doesn't live in the residence. Their mailing address is not the residence. So that's a good chance that those are renters. So you can target those guys at the address, and you can also target the sellers to wherever they live in the world, okay? First-time home buyers, maybe it's military or veterans or seniors. You get the idea. There could be a niche or a niche that you find that you're compelled to work in because you're super passionate about it, you're interested in it, or maybe you are part of that group, all right? Online lead generation. All kinds of ways to generate leads by developing rapport and following great techniques in social media and other sites, all the way to paid ways to do this. And we'll cover that in great detail in Module 10, which includes things on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and LinkedIn, among others, including details on the listing portals that you need to have profiles on, like Zillow, Realtor.com, Homes.com, and even Homelight.com. All right, and then of course, paid or referral fee lead sources. Again, we're going to talk about this in chapter, or rather Module 10, everything from HomeSnap, buying leads on Zillow while we still can, Realtor.com, OpCity, and places like Bold Leads. There's just tons of places to be able to purchase leads, the RedX and others, and we'll cover more of that in Module 10. All right, let's talk about once you have connected with the buyer through whatever the sources that you're going to use, from obviously your database and Sphere to open houses to some of the other things that we just talked about. You've got to make that initial connection with someone to find out, do they truly want to purchase a home? And maybe it's not now, and that's fine, because you can let them know that you're going to be staying in touch with them, and maybe you have a local monthly newsletter, or how you're going to keep them informed and what value you're going to provide for them until the time that they're actually ready to buy. So the very first thing in your connection, and more on, this is not about a consultation. We're going to cover that in the next lesson. Right now, it's just about learning a little bit more. Why? What's their time frame? What's their wants and needs when it comes to purchasing a home? The whole goal initially is to build trust and rapport. Remember, people want to work with people they know, like, and trust. And this whole portion of connecting with someone and building that is what you do over time. You can introduce your loan officer at the top of this connection, and have the loan officer partner with you to help whoever it is maybe become aware of their buying power now, or things that they might need to do so that they can make it better for later. Maybe it's improving their credit report or saving money and so on, right? So credit cleanup to different types of loan programs that are out there for them. Getting the lender involved early is always smart. And then you need to continue to nurture and cultivate your lead. As I mentioned, it's what you're going to do to stay in touch with them, like a monthly hyperlocal newsletter that's talking about the market, leveraging video, but it's also sharing your home search tools. Do you have a website? Do you have a mobile app that you can use? Do you have new homes in your area, and take advantage of the new home search apps that are generally available through your local association of realtors? Share those things with folks. Remember, they are on places like Zillow and Redfin, and if you meet someone, get them off of those sites and get them using your tools, your search tools. Put a really definitive plan in place to stay connected with these follow-up campaigns in your CRM, as I've been mentioning. You can set people up on search alerts either through your website, your IDX website, and or your MLS. If somebody really is interested in looking at properties, if it's not too soon, you can set them up in the MLS if it's just a few months out. If it's 6 months or longer, people like to be in control of their search. And again, if you have an IDX website, which you really need to have, so you can compete with the Zillows and the Redfins and the Realtor.coms, is get them off those sites and finding and setting up a search alert, which will drive them back to your website. This is what Zillow and Realtor.com do so well. People sign up for an account, they do the search, and then the AI and the technology, the algorithm is sending them reminders all the time about, hey, here's a new search here's a site, or here's a home rather, that you might be interested in. And this is what makes people click and go back to that site. You have that same capability with your mobile search apps and with your website. If it has IDX, you have the ability to set people up on searches so that they get an alert and they come back to your website and they find that experience better than going to Zillow. You got to make that happen though. You also have to make personal connections. This means calls, texts, video texts and calls, and your CRM can't do that for you yet. It can do everything else. It can do all that other heavy lifting, but you need to have the CRM that you're using remind you that I'm talking to John and Mary Smith today. They're not ready to buy for 6 months, so I'm going to go into my CRM and say in 45 days I'm going to check back in with them, or I'm going to send myself a task and a reminder to call them. All right. So those are the initial things regarding finding buyers, and then building that initial connection and starting to think about what you're going to do to nurture and ultimately convert that lead. We'll see you in the next lesson.